Imagine a world plunged into chaos, overrun by the undead. Picture the streets once bustling with life, now teeming with mindless creatures, their only goal, to feast on the living. The world as we know it has crumbled, and the rules of survival have been rewritten. In this dystopian reality, every decision you make, every step you take, could mean life or death. The familiar landscapes of your everyday life turned into an eerie battleground where the living are prey and the dead, relentless predators. In the face of such a terrifying scenario, one question becomes paramount. Where would you hide? Would you seek refuge in the towering skyscrapers of the city, or would you venture into the wilderness, hoping the dense forest would provide you with a sanctuary? Survival becomes a game of strategy, and finding the right places to hide is key. To survive, you must first understand your enemy. Let's delve into the characteristics and behavior patterns of zombies, those relentless pursuers of the living. Now, the first thing to take note of is their poor motor skills. Zombies aren't known for their grace or agility. They stumble and shuffle, their movements slow and awkward. A zombie won't be performing any acrobatic feats, so don't worry about them scaling walls or leaping across rooftops. They are bound by the same laws of physics as we are, and their decaying bodies don't lend themselves to athletic prowess. Next, their intelligence, or rather, the lack of it. Zombies are not strategic thinkers. They don't plan or plot. Their actions are driven by a singular, insatiable hunger, and they are drawn to noise and movement. This means that silence and stillness can be your greatest allies. A hidden, quiet spot can often be safer than a fortress defended by guns and barricades. Speaking of their insatiable hunger, it's important to understand that zombies are not discerning eaters. They are drawn to living flesh, and it doesn't matter to them if it's a human or a deer. This can be used to your advantage. Distractions can be created, drawing them away from your hiding spot. Lastly, zombies are persistent. They don't tire, they don't sleep, and they don't give up. If they sense the living, they will pursue relentlessly. This persistence is perhaps their most terrifying trait, and it's something to be wary of when choosing your hiding spot. You want a place that not only conceals you, but also makes it difficult for a persistent pursuer to reach. As we progress, we'll be using this understanding of our enemy to identify the safest places to hide, both in urban settings and in the wilderness. Remember, the key to survival isn't just about finding a good hiding spot, it's also about understanding who you're hiding from. Knowing your enemy is half the battle won. In an urban landscape, survival is a tricky business. The towering concrete structures, the labyrinth of alleyways, the sprawling metropolis teeming with potential threats. All of it can be overwhelming, but fear not, for even in this concrete jungle, there are hideouts that can offer you safety. First, let's talk about crowded places. Malls, hospitals, police stations. These are the spots most people will flock to. But remember, the more people there are, the more attention you attract. And attention is the last thing you want in a zombie outbreak. So rule number 1, avoid crowded places. Now let's consider the less obvious hideouts. The city is sprawling with warehouses and basements. These places are often overlooked, making them perfect hideouts. Warehouses especially are a good bet. They are spacious, often with multiple exits, and usually stocked with useful supplies. Basements, on the other hand, offer the advantage of concealment. They're underground, away from prying eyes, or in this case, sniffing noses. Just make sure you have more than one way out, in case you need to make a quick escape. Another good option are multi-story car parks. They offer a good vantage point, and the heavy concrete structure is not easy for the undead to navigate. Plus, you might even find a vehicle that can be used for a quick getaway. But remember, safety is not just about the physical location, it's also about being smart, being silent, and being vigilant. Keep your hideout clean to avoid attracting unwanted attention. Regularly check and secure all access points. And most importantly, always have a backup plan. Survival isn't just about finding a good hiding spot. It's about adapting to the environment, making the best use of available resources, and constantly staying one step ahead of the undead. In a city teeming with the undead, the places you least expect become the safest. So think, plan, and survive. Because in a world overrun by zombies, your wit is your biggest weapon. In the wilderness, your survival skills are truly tested. It's here where the rules of civilization fall away, replaced by the primal laws of nature. And in the context of a zombie apocalypse, the wilderness can be both a sanctuary and a battlefield. A remote location is your best bet. Why? Zombies, much like us, are creatures of habit, drawn to familiar sights and sounds. By choosing a remote location, you minimize the chance of stumbling into their path. But remember, remoteness is a double-edged sword. The further you are from civilization, the fewer resources you have at your disposal. Now let's talk about shelter. In the wilderness, your shelter is more than just a hiding place. It's your fortress, your sanctuary, your home. It needs to be hidden, but also sturdy and weather-resistant. Use the materials around you: fallen logs, large leaves, even snow if it's available. Camouflage is key. The goal is to blend in, not stand out. Water and food are non-negotiables for survival. Luckily, the wilderness is a bounty of resources if you know where to look. Learn to identify edible plants and how to catch small game. Rainwater can be collected, but remember to boil it first to kill any harmful bacteria. Conservation is crucial. Waste not, want not. Fire is your friend and your foe. It provides warmth, cooks food, and can signal for help. But it also draws attention. Use it wisely, and always have a way to extinguish it quickly. Lastly, never underestimate the importance of staying active. Regular physical activity keeps your body fit and your mind sharp. But remember, the goal is not to conquer the wilderness, but to coexist with it. Remember, in the wilderness, strategies need to be fluid. You must adapt to the environment and its changes. Keep your wits about you, stay vigilant, and most importantly, stay alive. In the wilderness, you're not just hiding from the undead, but also surviving nature's elements. Survival isn't just about hiding, it's about being prepared. In the midst of a zombie apocalypse, having a well-stocked survival kit can mean the difference between life and death. It's not just about finding a safe place, but turning that place into your fortress, a sanctuary that can shield you from the onslaught of the undead. Let's start with the basics. Food and water. Canned goods are your best bet. They're non-perishable, easy to store, and often come with their own means of opening. You'll want to have enough to last you for at least a couple of weeks. Water, on the other hand, is a bit trickier. It's heavy to carry and hard to store. That's where water purification tablets come in handy. These lightweight, space-saving miracles can turn potentially unsafe water into a drinkable resource, keeping you hydrated and healthy. Next, we have medical supplies. In an environment where a single scratch can spell disaster, having a basic first aid kit is crucial. Bandages, antiseptic wipes, tweezers, scissors, and some painkillers are the bare essentials. If you have access to antibiotics or other prescription medication, those should definitely make the cut. Now let's talk about defense. You may be in a safe place, but that doesn't mean you won't have to venture out once in a while. A sturdy, easy-to-use weapon is a must. This could be anything from a baseball bat to a crowbar. The important thing is that it's something you're comfortable with and can use effectively. Finally, navigation. If you need to move, you're going to want to do it quickly and efficiently. A compass and a map of your local area can be invaluable. Even better if you can get your hands on a battery-powered or hand-cranked radio to stay updated on any potential safe zones or rescue points. Remember, the key to surviving a zombie apocalypse isn't just about outrunning the undead, it's about outlasting them. With the right supplies, you can turn any hiding spot into a fortress. In a world overrun by the undead, survival is the only goal. It's not about being the strongest or the fastest, it's about being the smartest. It's about understanding the enemy, their habits, their weaknesses. It's about finding those perfect hideouts, urban or wilderness, where you can remain unnoticed and safe. It's about gathering the right supplies, preparing for a life on the run, a life where you're always one step ahead of the undead. Whether it's a fortified high-rise in the heart of a city, or a secluded cabin in the deep woods, your choice of hideout could mean the difference between life and death. Likewise, the supplies you choose to carry can either weigh you down or keep you alive. So, take what you've learned today. Understand your enemy, find your safe place, prepare your supplies. Remember, in a zombie apocalypse, your survival strategy is your lifeline. Plan wisely, and you just might live to see another day.